発。
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Warships Blitz with Terry. I am still on holiday, so if there's any brand new ship that's very exciting everybody, I'm sorry, I'll get to those when I get back. But for now, we're just feeding off things that I have pre-recorded. And that is one of the things that I've been working on. This is the Amagi, the Tier 8 Japanese battleship. Now you say, well, you've played the Amagi, well, you've reviewed the Amagi already, and it was garbage. And yeah, I have, and yes, it was. But this one here, if we get all the nonsense out of the way, no, I'm not interested. Go away, be quiet, thank you. This one here, that's mine, because I actually finally had some time, managed to get the Nagato battle honors knocked out. And while I'm going to keep the Nagato, because the Nagato is an amazing Tier 7 battleship, the Amagi is, well, where I'm next. And I'm probably not going to planning to keep the Amagi, because, like I said, I wasn't super excited about. But I'm just going to play through the ship, get the battle honors, get the shipyard resources knocked out, and then move on to Tier 9, which is yet another stepping stone towards where I want to be, because I have Isoroku Yamamoto, the Japanese legendary captain on the Amagi, and I want him to be on the Yamato because that's where he belongs. All right. So as you can see, I've done the 200,000 silver 50% retrain thing, and I'm just getting through the rest until he's back to 8. I mean, I've got the free XP to just update him. I am keeping my free XP in case there are legendary modules I want, because these are bloody expensive, and that's a thing that I'm interested in. But anyway, Amagi. How have I set up my personal Amagi? I have used the Elite Gun Operator, but the Battleship Modernization isn't a bad choice either, because the AA on the Amagi is actually not bad. So it's not that will not be a terrible choice. I was really on the fence here, but figured, yeah, this is a battle cruiser, and really the only good thing she's got going for her are the guns, and I want to get my money's worth out of these, which is also why I've got the main battery mod 3 here for a bit better dispersion, because the dispersion on the Amagi can be a bit trollish. To say the very least. I do have the deck protection mod because, well, like in my German battleships, I prefer the things to not be on fire all the time. And I have the steering in 3, so that's sort of my battle cruiser setup. Yeah, you could take propulsion in 2, maybe, or double steering. Probably all work. I personally prefer to have a little bit more of a defense on fire, because even though I think it was the main belt that was buffed by Wargaming a little bit recently, she's still a battle cruiser. She's a very, very squishy ship. and it shows. So she struggles to play the traditional battleship, like back row sniper roles sort of thing, because, well, the precision isn't great, and she really can't tank very much. And 3 of the guns are pointing rearwards, and 2 of them are pointing forward, which means this is a ship that's actually good at running, most dangerous when running away from you. So, yeah, that sounds more like battlecruiser to me. Anyway, enough of the preliminaries. Let's get into some games where I am actually pleased with the outcome. In the first battle, we're up against a Lexington, Vladivostok, Tirpitz, Gneisenau, Surrey, and an Akizuki on the enemy team. We have an Aki and an AK ourselves, so 2 destroyers on our side, and a Black Admiral Hipper, which I haven't actually reviewed, so that might be one of the things that I need to look into. But, yeah, we are playing on Fault Line, which isn't my favorite map. Especially with, well, it's only 1 destroyer on the enemy team. It's not my favorite map because too many islands, and it's often very difficult to lend some support. But I am spawning obviously with the destroyer, so that's the Akka on our side, and we have a carrier, so hopefully the scouting is somewhat going to happen. And yes, there's only 1 destroyer on the enemy side, but lots of battleships. So in the Amagi, well, you can't do the battleship thing because it isn't a battleship. And where is that Akatsuki going? He's going the extremely long way around, I guess. Anyway, you can't do the traditional battleship thing of sitting still and shooting at things because A, you can't hit anything, and B, if they shoot back, you're in trouble. Okay, there is the cruiser. What was that? A Surrey, I think? And there's 1 battleship. So the carrier has been scouting, has dropped onto the Surrey. Surrey is on fire. Surrey probably Damacons that, yes. And I can open up against the Surrey without being spotted because there's an island in the middle. But it's only 1 overpen, so nothing great. But yeah, this is not good news for our Akka. So I am just turning in a little bit, trying to see when that Surrey, because he doesn't know I'm here yet. Now he knows, and now he targets me, probably him. So, where is he? There he is. Okay. I can't remember what the torpedo range on these things is, but he's giving me a nice broadside, and I just need to clear this island such that I can get my rear turrets on to bear. But in the meantime, I'm just doing some damage with the forward turrets. And yeah, there's also an Akka. So, once again, I'm distracting him by being an inviting target. I'm slowing down here because, again, I can't remember what the torpedo range is. I'm pretty sure it's not 10 kilometers, but I don't want to run into them. And just giving some fire support to that Akka, who seems to be getting uncomfortably close to that Surrey. And that's a double fire from the carrier, so that's worth a Damacon. No torpedoes in the water, apparently. And I think that Akka, our Akatsuki is somewhat suicidal and hasn't figured out that the Surrey has torpedoes. So that answers my question of where the Surrey's torpedoes were. They are right in the middle of our Akatsuki, who is now perma-flooding and probably dead. Yep, there he is. Okay, so that's an Akatsuki down. Well, that could have gone better. But we now have flanking shots against that Tirpitz. And that Surrey is probably not going to get into a brawl with me. He is down to a little bit over half health. So I think I can continue going here, because the only destroyer they have is near our cap circle. So he's gone the other way around. So everything that's left here is that Tirpitz, the Surrey who's gone undetected, which means I need to push forward to get myself into a flanking position. Because that's one thing that you can do in the battle cruisers, but I don't want to push too far, because once again, Surrey torpedoes probably in the water. And yeah, that Tirpitz now has suddenly found himself in a crossfire, which is again perfect for something like the Amagi, because Amagi's got, oh, and the bot killed the bot. The Amagi's got lots of guns, but not an awful lot of armor. So we will just be pummeling that Tirpitz here as she goes. It seems to be doing a full turn, so another salvo out. And once again, I don't know where the Surrey is. I don't want to get into a close range fight with the Surrey necessarily, because I don't have the precision to take him out before he can dunk some torpedoes into me and get me set on fire. And the Amagi doesn't have an awful lot of hit points either for a tier 8 battle. Well, she is in the battleship. Okay, another nice broadside from the Tirpitz. Let's see if he's noticing me. I think he is, because I am starting to get targeted by 2 people. Okay, there's the Surrey. So nose in towards the Surrey. Surrey is obviously trying to set me on fire. Not damaconing a single fire, but we can heal up a little bit. So let's dissuade the Surrey from coming closer by letting him know that we're here and making sure that something goes into his nice flat broadside there. But yeah, given the Amagi precision, oh, that is a very, very lucky Surrey, because that was eight hits. And it looks like the Tirpitz has realized that I'm here and is coming around to give chase. So I'm up against the Surrey and the Tirpitz. The Surrey is he turning away, or can I get another shot at him? No, he's disengaging. Okay, so that would never hit. And the Tirpitz is coming close. So now we're doing the running away thing, because this is a Tirpitz, and a Tirpitz has torpedoes and nasty secondaries. So we don't want to fight a Tirpitz at close range, not in an Amagi. We have a lot of secondaries as well that we can use. So as long as we're outside torpedo range, and this is a German torpedo range, so this is not a historical camo, so 5.4 kilometers. As long as I'm outside 5.4 kilometers, he's had no chance to hit me with the torpedoes. And he's giving chase, which means he's going to get four guns on target, whereas I can give all my guns on target if I'm kiting around like this. So now I am in torpedo range, so I do have to, but I can use that island that's right in front of me to, you know, hopefully get away before the torpedoes hit. And I might be taking one more salvo here, unfortunately. Yep, but the Tirpitz is down, so that was a Tirpitz, that's gone. How are we on points? We're 20 points ahead. That is not much. And there is a battleship coming out. We've just lost our Bismarck. Okay, so the Surrey has made himself useful elsewhere. Let's see if we can remind him that we still exist. So shots out at the Surrey. One more heal up. And I think the carrier is coming my way, because he obviously knows that I'm here. And once again, the Surrey gets amazingly lucky to survive this. So that's a fire, not damaconing that, because there come the torpedo planes. We're 20 points ahead, that's not an awful lot. Okay, that I'll damacon, that's what I've saved it for. But that destroyer of ours in the middle is going to die either from the Surrey or from the carrier. So that Surrey needs to die, and I think that should be the end of that thing. And now we'll try to destruct the carrier. And I'm not sure I can take another strike from the carrier, but if he's going after me, he's not going to go after the destroyer, because our carrier and our cruiser are busy defending the base. So hopefully the destroyer can get close enough to do some damage to the carrier. So hello, Mr. Lexington. The friendly carrier gives fighter support, which is much appreciated, but the enemy fighters are just distracting my AA from the dive bombers. That is a perma-fire, but he is not sending the torpedo planes after me. And he is sending them after the Aki, so by splitting up his forces like this, yeah, that if he had used his dive bombers, that would probably maybe have been a dead Aki. But this way he gets to drop his torpedoes and I get to survive as well, because he hasn't sent the dive bombers after me. So having him distracted like that has kind of worked out, and that's a dead carrier, and that should be game, because our destroyer and me both managed to survive, and the Aki actually gets the kill on the carrier. And that's how we did almost 100,000 points of damage. So positioning strategically in the Amagi is everything. You need to find, you can't sit still, but you need to find a vector where you can do some good and aren't going to get shot at by the whole enemy team. And we've just shot down 6 aircraft, but I've had games where I've gotten a clear sky in the ship, so she can definitely do some damage to aircraft as well. Alright, let's do that again. In the second battle, we are in yet another map that I'm not particularly fond of, in Atlantic. And we're up against a Hiryu and Odin, a West Virginia, Nagato, Colorado, Mayan, and an Aka. Mainly tier 7 ships. I think, yeah, we're the only 2 tier 8 ships in this game. But the Odin is a very, very dangerous ship that I don't necessarily want to fight. So we are spawning on the right flank, which means we're going to be slowly heading towards that island up there. And we have a Mayan of our own, so hopefully we can provide some scouting, plus we have a carrier. So the enemy destroyers, even though they have one more than we do, shouldn't have too much of an advantage. Full speed ahead, and just, you know, getting ready for repositioning. One thing you can always do in something like the Amagi in a battle cruiser is to try and keep cover between yourself and people who can shoot at you. And obviously having a Yamato on the ship helps, because you know how many people are targeting you at any point in time. Okay, carrier scouts, sees the Mayan, draws the fighters, I think captured the fighters of our friendly carrier. So that could have gone better, but that actually gets us to know where the enemy Mayan is, because the fighters have gone over there. So let's get some prospective shots out. I'm spotted anyway. And see if anything of that hits. It is armor piercing, but it can still manage to do damage. And we got one overpen. Okay, that wasn't an awful lot. Fighters have died. So we know that there's a Mayan over here, but we don't know anything else. Now the friendly Mayan has seen that, right? You've seen that there's a Mayan over there, behind on the other side of this island, and nothing else. So why are you sitting behind the island? Move! Alright, there's a West Virginia. I don't really have line of sight, so I gotta shoot blind by map, but I don't know if that's gonna hit. I can't really go any further forward. I'm not in a great position, so I'm switching over to high explosive, assuming that the friendly Mayan, might be doing something like scouting, or the carrier, might be going and having a look. But no, nobody does anything. So there comes the Mayan around. And he seems to be going after the Colorado, who hasn't gotten the memo that destroyers have torpedoes, and is sailing, well, as quickly as Colorados can, straight up forward. So I have the high explosive loaded, but it was only one hit against the Mayan, because I think he was turning at this point. There is also the Odin and the carriers coming in our direction. So there are going to be torpedoes in the way, right? We're waiting if the Mayan is doing a turn. But, oh yeah, there comes the turn. So shots out, back to the armor piercing, because we now have an Odin and there's the Nagato coming. And I am not in a good position, so Nagato overshoots, but he's not going to make that mistake twice. Carrier drops me, I am in reverse, so I might be able to dodge one, yep. And I think plonk the other one. But now also the West Virginia is coming around, so even though I am in a top tier, what's technically a battle cruiser, I need to get the island between myself and the things that are shooting at me. And the Mayan is still sitting around there. So I'm pinging him, it's like, come on, there are like 3 battleships and an enemy Mayan over there. Can you do something useful? Like, I don't know, smoke, torpedo somebody. They're right there. What are you sitting there for? But no, the Mayan decides that he likes this island, and the enemy Mayan is coming after the Colorado, and the Colorado can't run away on account of being a Colorado. So I think it's once again time that I am earning the cruiser in my battle cruiser here. So full on turn. That is giving broadside to a lot of things. So I am getting slapped a bit. But we're going to get the forward turrets out and then switch over to the high explosive. It was actually 2 full pens, which is nice. A couple more shots coming in from these battleships in the rear, but now, yeah, we are under carrier attack, and I think the friendly Mayan has just found his brave pills and is actually going around the corner here. There come the Mayan torpedoes, so he is out of torpedoes right now. So carrier, if you're not too busy over there, there's a destroyer right here who could do with some spotting. And I am giving what air cover I can to that poor Colorado, but I mean Colorado doesn't have a bad AA, but yeah, that's a lot of airplanes, and that's a lot of torpedoes and hitting the Colorado. Okay, there's the Mayan, and he has made a cardinal mistake of coming broadside out, and that's a dead Mayan. Now, unfortunately, that means I'm going to be running into all those torpedoes while I'm reloading, but I think I'm going to take 3. Yep, that hurt. It's because there was also shots from the Nagato coming in, but I need to disengage here because we are now fighting a Nagato and an Odin, and that Colorado is dead. Very, very dead. So the Odin is shooting at me. I'm going to get some shots out at the Odin and see if we can get away. Is he firing high explosive at me? He is firing high explosive at me. Now, the Colorado can't run away on account of it being a Colorado, and a Colorado can't do anything very quickly. But we are 2 kills ahead, but I am on relatively low health, and that Colorado is dead. So that score isn't going to stay, we're not going to stay ahead on points very much. And there's a Nagato and an Odin coming. So given that the Colorado is dead anyway, I'm using him to, distract the enemy a little bit and giving them something else to shoot at, while I am running as fast as I can away. And I mean, the Amagi is not an extremely speedy tier 8 ship, but she's also not. She's definitely faster than a Colorado. Then again, there's probably tectonic activity that's faster than a Colorado. So, unfortunately, once again, I have run out of map, And we are still ahead on kills, but I am now being shot at by an Odin and a Nagato. To my great fortune, the Odin is firing high explosive at me, which I'm not sure why he does that, but I'm not going to disrupt him while he's doing so. The Odin should has like 6.9 kilometer torpedoes, and there comes the carrier as well. 6.9 kilometer torpedoes and a similar range on the auto secondary. So I need to kind of stay. Is that not a secondary build, Odin? Because I should be. No, I think I'm just out of secondary range. Okay, double fire, Damaconing that, and we are still 60 points ahead, but they have pulled one kill back, and the Odin's trying to set me on fire. My Damacon is up, so that next salvo might work. This salvo definitely couldn't. And I can use, once again, my rear turrets to do some more damage to that thing. I think he's just turning in. Yeah, that was the superstructure hits. But this is definitely not a fight that I'm going to win easily. If I was in auto secondary range, I'd be already dead, because I'd be on double permafire. I know what this thing can do. I've got one of my own. So I can't turn because I'm running out of the map. But I can use my 3 rear turrets to shoot at him and kind of try to dodge as much as possible the shell fire that's coming in. And he's still firing high explosive. We are 10, 11, 12 points ahead. So if I die, they win. But then the Leon takes out the enemy carrier. And we are not going to win by capping, but if I had died, I think we would have still won because the Leon just took out the carrier. But it's definitely a close one. So, yeah, and we're still taking the first place in the team, and because we have been battling a fair amount of the enemy team over here, although the Colorado has helped tremendously. So yeah, the Amagi is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yamato definitely helps, but even without, just don't play it like a battleship, because if you're stationary, you're dead. Concentrated fire will absolutely wreck this ship because of the relative lack of armor, and that's not what these things were for. These were battle cruisers. I mean, they never were because they never existed, but that's what battle cruisers were for. They were supposed to fight things that they can kill and outrun things that they can't easily. So it's still not a great ship. There are a lot of very, very, very good tier 8 battleships out there, but it's not absolutely dreadful either. It's almost I would almost play it a bit more like a French battleship, like the Gascogne. That's sort of the feel I got out of this. She's not quite as quick, but does she have more guns? I think she's got more guns. And it's definitely a bigger caliber. So running away from things is good in the Amagi, because you got most of your firepower to the rear for probably a good reason. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.